Welcome back, everyone. Another massive episode of Aces Premiership Countdown. We break it all down, starting with the pig sphincter. That's right, the taco chip that he had last week with hot sauce. He tells us how his body was feeling after he didn't have any breakfast. We also get into the footy this week. Dees v Dockers. That's right, pig v train. We might have a little wager on that one. We break down Trump. We break down a few other things. And we have a massive Stop That, the biggest Stop That of the year. Tune in right here at Aces Premiership Countdown. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.
All right, Tommy, let's get stuck into the podcast, mate.
Oh, let's get straight into it. Pig, how are you, son?
Very well, mate. How are you? I'll tell you what, these hoodies are all right, champion. You gave me one of these. I keep getting freebies when I'm here. You give me the RIXXs, you give me the
champion. You give me the champion after getting the gift.
Straight off the bat, champion.
Tell you what, you are looking elite in that hoodie, but the clean shaven face as well. You're looking fresh.
Sometimes I just need a bit of a trim up. I don't like it. It was funny. My youngest daughter's never seen me without stubble, and cried straight away the other day.
Really? Really?
Yeah, for like half a day. I had to have a hat on because I had a haircut as well. So
yeah, looking fresh.
Yeah, so there you go. Everyone hates me at home.
This is a bit of a random topic. We'll get to the hoodies in a second, guys. We are excited about these, but when you go to the barber, do you go to the same one every time, or do you just go, oh, shit, I've got to grab one and duck in?
I've never consistently gone to the same one. I'll just go whatever's close to home or whatever. So I've kind of mixed it up over the year. However, Maisie just opened a barber in Ashburton, which isn't far from me. Studio P in Ashburton. So if anyone
big keen to get it, yeah,
he's
flying
killing it,
planes. Now he's trimming hair.
I rang him up and I was like, mate, I need a trim. I've been talking about it for ages, and he booked me in and. I don't know what to ever ask for, so make it a bit shorter, make sure it looks like I've had a haircut, but don't chop too much off the top. And I know I'm wearing a hat, but I was pretty happy with it off the bat. So yeah, shout out to Studio P, they were good.
That's great. And where is it? Ashburton.
Ashburton on High Street there. And
what Maisie is he the owner?
He's part owner. There's a guy that's a barber in there that he collabed with, and it's a good fit out.
There we go. We've got two blokes in our fantasy league. That'll be him and Angus Crichton. They'll be going head to head. We've got the Sydney barber. Now we need one in the Queensland.
But yeah, what do you ask for? You just
short back and sides.
I think I always a bit on the top.
Get a bit of like these curls going on, so the hair gets a bit. I mean, my hair takes ages to grow. So you know what I hate? I hate when they take too much off on top. So I go, mate, that's going to cost me 4 weeks. I was just thinking of a funny story. When I was a kid, just visualise this if you're listening, guys, but if you're watching, you understand. I remember my dad took me to the barber. It was his barber. And he goes, come with me, we get a haircut. And I'll never forget this. This is one of the worst haircuts I've ever had. I said, can you just go pretty much take it all off and leave on top? It's pretty much short back and sides. But as a young kid, that's how I described it. And I remember telling him that I like to gel the front up. So the fringe, I used to just gel the fringe, right? And he goes, I know what you want. And I sat there, and what he proceeded to do was he shaved my whole head and just left the fringe and spiked it up. And I was too small. I couldn't see the mirror because I was a little kid. And then when he goes, what do you think? And he pulled the mirror, bawled my eyes out. Bawled my eyes out. No, I remember his name, Johnny, in Avondale Heights. He's a great man. But Johnny absolutely butchered me head, and I never forgave me dad. I never went back there. I said, nah, I'm not going back there.
That's hilarious. Because after they're done, even if I hate it, because usually I don't really care. It'll grow back, whatever. But I had a stinker maybe 9 months ago. I looked at it and he goes, "Oh, hey," I'm like, "Yeah, mate, it's grouse." I just don't have the balls to go, "Mate, it's shit," you know. Like, I looked at it, I was like, "What have you done to me?" Similar to the little fringe at the top.
Oh, mate.
He kept the big, like a bit of an emo fringe and nearly shaved the rest of it, and I was gutted, but I couldn't break it to him. I didn't like it. I was worried about his feelings, even though my head looked busted.
There's nothing worse than a horrific trim. But that doesn't happen at Maisie's studio. Studio 7 in Ashburton.
Studio P.
Studio P in Ashy. There you go, Maisie. Yep. Well done. Hey, speaking of the Dees, we'll brush over them quickly, but Malky has turned this club around, I reckon, single-handedly. He is the reason, in my opinion. I mean, no Gorn and no Warriors. It's good to see Malky and the boys firing up. And while I'm talking about Malky, it leads into our locks saluted. It was a pretty easy watch. Malky kicked 2. The Giants won comfortably, even though the Tigers gave them a little bit of a few nerves in the last quarter. But our locks saluted, and I don't know. I don't want to go back. You know, we're all about going forward. But geez, it hurts that Sydney cost us the fact. This would be we'd be putting about $1,500 on this week if it wasn't for that week 3, which hurts.
And a kick in it too. So yeah, you're right. We move forward.
Yeah, we do.
It's hard not to think about it. Malky's he's just come in and it's like. He hasn't missed a beat at all. You know, he missed nearly 12 months. He's kicked 2 in both games, and he's setting them up. Like
he's looking fit.
He's the difference at the moment, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they go against. Our mobs are playing each other this week, so I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do with your lock. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine.
I think they've cost us all year, these teams. Melbourne, Freo and Sydney. There's only been 3.
We need to probably have something on this too.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
That's actually, let's talk about that later on when we get to the game preview. I like that. We should have spoken about that before we got in the pod, but now we can get real juicy with the punishment there. There's another one for everyone listening just to get to see one of us punished. But what I was going to talk about was last week, there was a lot of comments around our historic footy match, blokes brawling, and we missed a few blokes. And I want to read out a few guys we missed. So Wayne Carey.
Yeah.
Glenn Archer.
Been known.
We also had Stevie Baker.
Yeah, he's mad. Yep.
Izzy Folau was put there because he did play AFL, but he was a big unit.
Fair, and you wouldn't want to be going. You wouldn't want to fight Big Izzy, would you?
I know, and we did say AFL only.
Were you at the club when
No, I wasn't. Nah. Lenny Hayes.
Yep.
And our man Jimmy Kondos, he was getting that much love. I know we know Jimmy well, and a lot of people that don't know Jimmy, they probably went, "Who the fuck is Jimmy?" But everyone that does know Jimmy, they got right around him, and he loved it. And he's been sending me photos in the gym, like really going, like he'll finish 1-2 boxing, and he'll be, "I'm ready for this fucking Florence fight, mate," all week. So big shout out to Jimmy Kondos, he is the man. And it was a great little, it was a great random one that we had.
Yeah, it was good. It was same as you. I had a few people send them my way. There were a few questionable ones, but the thing is, like Lenny Hayes, it's played tough, but there's blokes ahead of him in terms of the punching on in Florence, I'm sure.
Well,
but
you never know.
He seemed like the nicest bloke in the world, Lenny Hayes just played tough as.
And I don't want to be potting Glassjaw Barry Hall, but
I called it, did I not?
You did. I know Barry.
He might be sleeping by the time this comes out, and I reckon he was. None still.
I know, and it hurts me because he was my skipper. So I'm going straight away. Your team was better than mine straight away, but I wouldn't say it to Baz's face.
No.
It's amazing. I mean, when they're that big, it only takes one, doesn't it? It's crazy.
It's something to say. He's 47 or something too. I think the head probably.
Does your brain go? Do you go to sleep quicker when you're older? What's the study?
I don't know the science behind it, but I would say so. I think in the UFC and all that, the older they get, they say your chin gets a bit weaker, and I assume. After all the training and all the hits in footy and all that, just every time it's like death by 1,000 cuts. And he's gone up against a 27-year-old brute.
Yeah, he's a brute, right.
Curtis Scott, and just he didn't want to be there, Big Baz, I don't think.
I didn't see it. I saw the replay because I was like, I'll watch the replay tomorrow, and I just went online and saw the first round knockout, and I'm like, that's really going to hurt my Florence team.
It didn't seem. Be careful unless I run into Big Baz, but it didn't look like a heap. You know what I mean? Like it was like he got him a nice one, but in boxing they cop them all the time, and they just walk through him. And he just copped it and didn't like it, and it didn't look like he wanted to be there after that. But I think he's got a bright future, Curtis Scott. Like he'll probably go up against Sonny Bill Williams or something now. It'll be a big fight because they both knocked out Big Baz in the first round. So we'll see. Anyway, we talk about footy on this pod, a little bit of boxing, a little bit of sport around everywhere.
Before we talk footy, I want to talk about your sphincter.
Oh, mate.
Because we had the hot chip challenge last week and we put a lot of the Reaper sauce on that. And I'm telling you now, I've had that before with Griffin Logue years ago and that burnt me insides. I had stomach cramps for 4 hours. I want to know how your recovery was and how your, how was the rig?
I'm not even exaggerating. I went to the toilet that afternoon and it was hurting. It was hurting a lot. And I was like, it had to have had something. Because when you read out, make sure you consume on a full stomach or don't consume on an empty stomach. And I literally hadn't eaten and we did the pod at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. I was nervous. And there's a reason why I was nervous because it burnt all the way through and all the way out. I hate to get graphic with our listeners, but it wasn't good. I recovered the next day all right, but that afternoon I had the sweats on the toilet, put it that way.
Is there an argument to say get rid of the juice cleanse and just have a hot chip or two?
I don't reckon I ate for the rest of the day, to be honest. I just didn't want to eat anything. But, I won't be doing that again for fun, that's
what
for sure.
What about the double chip? That was so fun. That's classic pig. Give me another one. And then you're like, I shouldn't have done that. The boys love that.
The drinking milk out of the carton in the fridge is got to mention too.
A couple other mentions here, but our man Harmsy, I think he's now... I think we give up on Harmsy.
Well, he put a line through the big fella.
Yeah,
you sent him a text. He sent you a text
saying, I'm ready to get on the pod, big fella. And I knew that you had the hot chip challenge. I said, next week's your week.
Yep.
And then we went back and forth. I said, how you placed Wednesday as we record? And we float this around this time and just never replied. And it said red. Like I turned that off on my setting. He has red.
Yeah, what a goose. I called it at the start of the year.
It's good though. I love it. I hope it keeps happening. We'll get him on grand final week maybe. One more thing, but State of Origin will have completed when this comes out.
Yep.
It's on tonight as we record this. It's exciting. But let's just put our prediction through. That way we look like a clown or we look like a hero when people listen to this and they'll find it funny.
You're wearing the blue, but I'm gonna go to New South Wales after last time. Where it's in Queensland.
Yeah, it is. And I have no idea. But everyone that's telling me is Queensland and Queensland are impossible to beat, right? But everything I've seen with my own eyes, with no idea about the game, has me leaning New South Wales.
$2 New South Wales, $1.80 Queensland.
So I'm gonna my prediction, and this is pure because I've got no idea. From what I've seen, New South Wales 1-12.
That's your tip?
It is my tip. Yeah.
Like it. I'm going to go for New South Wales because I wore the colours last time I was on.
But I'm going for Queensland.
And I copped it from a few of the boys, Christian Welsh and Munster and all that. They're all Queenslanders, and I'm going for the Blues. So hopefully they get up. What are you doing? You going to watch it?
And Angus Crichton will score. He let me down last time in Melbourne. I reckon that's me juicy odds.
What's he paying?
Oh, he was like 460 last time, and he was the only one that didn't score. But I reckon the way the game might play out, he might get over this week. So there you go. That might be a juicy one. I'll be putting that on. But I'm happy either way, mate, because we're always Queenslanders down here. Righto, time to get into our play on or out of bounds. We have a good one here. Big shout out to everyone that writes in. We've had a few issues with Spotify updating their back end, but we've got everything running now. So get your comments in because we're gonna go hard next week. We might even have a segment just purely on your comments and your questions, and the feature allows us to reply. So when we do giveaways and whatnot, we'll be able to get them to you. Righto. This one's from Garcia23. Play on or out of bounds. Wearing your AFL/Waffle/VFL/Sample gear to training to let everyone know that you played at a higher level. My anonymous mate, Scott Price, still wears his 24/7.
Scott Price. So they named him. It's probably someone stitching him up again.
There's a disclaimer here, Pricey. We're just reading out what Garcia has written, and it looks like a very fake account here. But it might be a legit one. But Garcia has said that his mate, Scotty Price, is rocking, his AFL Waffle VFL sample kit a lot.
Out of bounds. I know, and I'm going to everyone be like, you took your bag or whatever, to the footy. Hold on. Well, that bag didn't just scream it out, and I wasn't running out on the track. It has to be out of bounds, doesn't it? It's
yeah. We thought it was out of bounds wearing your AFL kit to lunch whilst being an AFL player. Yeah, we would be like anyone that was seen and would wear down a Freo, blokes would laugh at you.
Yeah. If you you have to go back to training that afternoon in that kit, but you have to put a casual kit on over it just to make sure that you're blending in with the general punters in the public. We were the same, Essendon, Melbourne. if you were wearing a Melbourne hoodie down Swan Street or something, it was like, mate, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's out of bounds for me.
Why was it out of bounds though? Like, I look back now and go,
I don't
geez,
know.
could have dominated if we walked down in a full kit. Everyone, oh, there they go, the boys, the Freo boys, they've got free coffee, free lunch, boys. No one would know who you are the first few. It's more your first few years. I wanted to wear it so bad.
Yeah.
Had to keep wearing the casual just because that's what the rules were. But geez, I just wanted to wear the purple down the street.
Imagine if you wear it to the pub, nightclubs.
Oh yeah, well you would when you're young. You wanted to. No one knew who you were. I remember going to.
A couple of extra drink cards.
I remember going to CQ. Yeah, and he goes, "Who do you play for?" I said, "Fremantle." He goes, "What's your name?" How many games you played? I go, "Oh, 3." He goes, "Hang on a second. Hey, Julio." He calls him over. Googles me. He goes, "Yeah, no, let him up the stairs. Friends can go up the right." Had to beg him for 5 drink cards. Anyway,
Mate,
there you go.
A quick one off the top. I don't know if it's any good. It made me think of it on the weekend. Went to the footy. Got the train in. If you're a bloke and you go on and you got the cubicles, you got maybe 15 of them, and I'm doing a slash, is it playing or out of bounds to go next to me, or you've got to leave a bit of a buffer of like 3 or 4 cubicles? They're all 3 next to me, and I got a bloke stood next to me.
Was he looking at your packer?
No, I don't know. I try not to look, a little side eye.
Nice snag, mate.
But I'm like, mate, you had 6 in a row, and he's chose to piss next to me.
That is 100% out of bounds.
It's out of bounds.
Like, you want a bit of space, like just hygiene in general.
And it was the same. I jumped on the train and thought the same thing. I'm sat there and I've sat up against the window, and there was free seats everywhere from Carnegie, and this old bloke, just sat next to me.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, mate, what are you doing? Let's sit there. I didn't say anything to him. I was just like, rubbing shoulders.
The barber. Yeah, grouse.
I was like, off the bat, both of them are out of bounds. But I'm like, why are people doing stuff like that? Like, leave it, especially when you're doing a slash, because the splashes come sometimes after you've been at the footy.
Oh, yeah, you're hydrated.
Give me some.
Yeah, that's a massive out of bounds.
I thought I'd bring it up, but what do we got now, mate?
Very good. Very passionate from you there. We'll go through our tipping leaderboard. I won't waste everyone's time because Gone Without a Trace has been on top for, I reckon, 9 weeks, leading by just 1. And there's a few underneath. Benny and Kyle sitting second tied. So there's a few developments on the jersey front as well. I've got a couple coming from West Coast. Jakey Waterman has looked up to that. So there's a few there. I need to find our Adelaide one. I can't find Jordan Dawson's one. I know it's somewhere. I think it might be at the Folks. I hung it up somewhere. We obviously need it at the end of the year. But there's a lot of jerseys slowly coming through. And that Dees jersey you've got, the stock is rising on that one. That was on the floor when you gave it to us. But now
$1. I couldn't give it away.
Now they're looking like playing finals. It might be a huge threat. Hey, just on that, is Petrarca playing finals? Like, what? Do you know anything about when his return date is?
My understanding was he's out for the year.
Oh, so he's done.
But it wouldn't surprise me if
they made a final, he'd play, or you reckon he's done?
I don't know how spleens work, so I think they're prepared without him for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be. I'd be very surprised if he comes back, but it just says indefinite, so you don't know with that. Sometimes it could be 4, could be the season, could be 2.
But if he's not training, it's hard to get you up to AFL standard for a final. You know,
you could play him in the pocket off 2 weeks training. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could. Just a random question. Well, let's get into it, mate. It's time for your favourite segment.
That's Pooch.
Very good.
Well, and hold on, and the grouse.
Oh yeah, the grouse is next. Don't worry, we always go positive last. I'll start us off. I'll tell you what's Pooch.
What's Pooch?
My team, Fremantle Dockers in Tasmania. Pooch.
Well, I tipped the Hawks, so it was grouse for me.
They cost me a stack. I told everyone, I think I might have said something to you, no way. Freo top 4. They've got, Hawthorn are going well, but they're 13-3 for a reason. When I say 13-3, Hawthorn were 13th and Freo were 3rd on the ladder. And I said, this is a big game. And it doesn't matter if Sean Darcy's out because we've got Jackson and we've got the midfield and we've got the forwards. But I tell you what to the forwards, boys. Give it for the big sticks, boys. They could not hit the side of a barn. I need to get Mickey Martin down there because how about you kick it through the big sticks, boys? They kick that many points. The big tall forwards at Freo just go to training this week and don't even talk to anyone. Just take the footy out, take a bag of footies out and just have set shots directly in front because they missed some absolute sodas and they were Pooch. The key forwards were Pooch. And Freo were Pooch. They needed to win that. But they have time, but they let a great opportunity slip. They know that. We all know that. But I am rooting for Freo, and I think they can win the whole thing this year But you can't be giving up those opportunities. That could have been they could have locked top 4 almost with their run home. So now they have to fight, and we know how important a home prelim is. So they're going to have to be, I reckon, if they're going to be top 4, they're going to have to finish 4th or 3rd. They ain't going to get 2nd now, and they let that slide a little bit. So huge for me.
All right, that's the grouse for me, and it's a strange one, mate. But this has been all over our news. But Donald Trump.
Oh, Trump! This is big,
and it's we're going to be careful here because someone in the end ended up passing away. But that photo of him holding his hand up with the flag in the background, there's a bit of conspiracy around it, but it has to be one of the most iconic photos ever taken of all time. Like the president surviving an assassination, and then having the knowing putting the marketing hat and being Trump the brand and being able to just put the fist up and go fight in that photo. I was like, that is grouse. So I mean, it's a sad outcome because people were injured and someone ended up dying. A couple of people ended up dying, but I thought that photo and Trump in that moment, I thought it was grouse. And anyone that's impacted out there that could be listening, I feel sorry for you. But that was the grouse for me this week. Trump just surviving an assassination and just having the ability in his head to know this could be my moment. Like, it just gives me chills. Like, how did that happen?
The photo is iconic. Fight.
Yeah.
Even just getting up and they're like, the amount of people that are around him and they're trying to usher him off. Like, they're almost trying to not let his one body part, free so that nothing can happen. And he's like, hang on. You can hear him going, hang on. And then he's like, fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's great. It's honestly a movie scene. He's a rock star, man.
He's a rock star at the moment. And I've watched a fair bit of stuff on this. I've kind of spinning my rabbit hole and of YouTube clips, but it's how that happened is beyond me. So there's a few conspiracies out there, but
there is a few conspiracies, and look, there is because
a lot of negligence.
Even the fact the blood's only smeared and the ear, and you haven't seen it, but it's tough to talk about because there were people that have lost their lives to it, so we don't dive in too much. But I just found it crazy. Like I actually missed what happened because I was out in the country. I told you I was away on the weekend and I had no service. I got back to Melbourne midday and I had no idea, but everything was blowing up. Every WhatsApp, Trump.
Yeah.
And Trump's been shot. I could not get my head around it till I got out of the car and went online and sussed it all out. It was just hectic.
And you've seen probably the little clips of how he moves his head and it clips his ear, but if he didn't move his head, it would have hit the back of his head. Apparently, the time he moved his head like that is the same time he pulled the trigger, so someone wouldn't have known how to adjust to him moving his head, and it's like, what? There's someone looking after him, you know what I mean? It's just crazy.
It is hectic.
Anyway, I thought the photo in particular, that was the grouse for me this week, mate.
Oh, very good. Trump, he's got to be a lock. I mean, we're gonna. Can I put my lock to him to win now? I think he's $1.30. Can he be?
$1.30.
I think he's $1.33.
Put your house on it.
He can't lose now, can he?
Can't lose. I don't think he was going to lose before this.
I'll tell you what my grouse is. There's a guy with an account called Travel Says, and it's I think Florida in general, they're just built differently. Like, can you imagine living in Florida with all these alligators and even these waters they're in, they go fishing and the alligators are in the water. Like, imagine falling in there. Anyway, they're on the piss and there's this bloke. I don't know if you've seen it, but just imagine you're on the beers and you want to have a little shotgun of a can, and instead of open it with something else, he's decided I'll crack the can on an alligator's tooth. So he puts his hand in the water and sprinkles his water. Up comes the alligator. It opens his mouth. He whacks the can on it, and then bang, his mate shotguns the can. Awesome. And I think it's a Coors can. So if you worked in marketing at Coors, it'd be unbelievable. But yeah, you got to see this clip. It is the grouse. And I was thinking it's got to be the best party trick outside of your All-Australian jersey coming out in the nude. I reckon that. Putting your hand in the water.
And getting a croc up while the alligator. They're not as vicious alligators as crocs over here.
You couldn't pay me to put my hand in the water.
No. Not. But I'm saying you wouldn't even be on a dinghy or a little boat over here, like with the crocs that we have. I think alligators are like, they'll try to stay away from you. Crocs will actually try to get you.
They're just scary though. They are scary. Very good, mate. Very good.
That's good. That's funny. I'll have to check that out.
Righto, it's time for the RIXX eye-catching moment. Chuck your RIXXies on. And by the way, how are the large going? Because the team we've had a lot of positive feedback. And I've put them on a lot of big heads lately, and they all fit flush.
Have they been running off the shelf, the old large? Because I can't be the only one with the head size this
Mate,
big.
they've been going so well. And I have been a little bit nervous when I give them to people. I had one of the Wallabies props on the other week for Tommy Talks, and he's got a monster head, Alan. And
It's an XL.
yeah, and he was like, same thing, mate. They normally go out and they fit perfectly. So it's been good.
Now, these are, and what are the others that I got? What are
Soho and the Melrose.
and the Melrose.
Yeah, they're the two that we did.
larger. Yeah, the others don't fit my pill, unfortunately. So anyway, my RIXX eye-catching moment. Spain. What a week they've had. They've won the Euros, which I think they might have been favourites into that.
That's just massive, that.
Huge against
Did you watch
England.
it?
Yeah, I watched it. In the last, 4 minutes or whatever, they've scored the goal. And Alcaraz. That's like two of the bigger, the Euros is huge over there. Alcaraz winning Wimbledon. He's an absolute superstar. I just thought that was my RIXX eye-catching moment. Just the week that Spain had. They would be losing.
And Live Golf.
Sorry.
Sergio Garcia as well.
Sergio Garcia. So I knew I had another one off the
How's
off
that
the
though?
top.
All in 24 hours.
Amazing.
It's crazy. Imagine thinking, you know how you do when you have a punt, you go, I've got this theory that Spain win the Wimbledon and they win the Euros, and then for some reason, I love me golf because we love all of them, and we just chuck them in a multi. That would have been amazing to think like that, wouldn't it?
Someone probably has.
Someone had to have done
Some
that.
Spanish blokes probably come across a tab over there somewhere, and there's no tabs over there, and done that for sure. Anyway, it was unbelievable. They must be thinking, how good is our country? We just dominate the world at the moment. We're killing it in golf, tennis, and the soccer. That's the big one over there.
The soccer's massive. How's the crowds? It's crazy. Even the thingo the next day with Argentina. What's that called? The Copa?
The Copa.
That was, did you see how they just damaged Hard Rock Stadium?
Yeah, I saw that.
Absolutely
Was it Argentina versus
Colombia. They were sneaking through like every room. They were jumping. They had like bodies just forcing bodies over the fence and on the roof of like where you'd sell your merch, and then they'd jump off and in they go. They are a different breed, the soccer fans. The way it's so passionate. I mean, you can only imagine being a soccer player in one of those finals and kicking one of the match winners. Imagine the roar.
I remember watching something, and I think it might have been Matt Damon. I think his wife's Colombian or something. And he went to his father-in-law and said, I want to go to a soccer game. And he's like, to his father, and his father's like, okay, we'll go. And he went to this soccer game, and there was no one between the goalposts, like on the wings, because on one end of the ground was the one set of fans, and the other was the other, and they were just throwing stuff at each other.
Really?
So there was a buffer zone of about, and that's how mad it is in like Colombia and those South American countries. If you go to a local soccer game, they just throw shit at each other. It's mad. Considering here we sit next to our. And even in England, like they separate the fans in the EPL and stuff. I went to a Tottenham game, and Crystal Palace, I think, are a pretty big rival, and they were separated. And I was like, it's weird that happens. Like here, we sit next to a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah, but it's
or
hard though.
supporter.
Like I would definitely love to sit in the section where you're supporting.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, when you're sitting in a section and there's a bit of grief with others, it's like I'd rather see them separated and going at each other with a distance.
Yeah,
it would create a better rivalry.
It gets violent. Have you seen Green Street Hooligans?
Yeah, I know. But I think we're pretty good over here.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's we go. What do you got for us, mate?
Mate, I've got a random one, but I think I've spoken here. So when I drink beer, I get bloated sometimes, and sometimes I'm the grouse. You know what I mean? Like I'm on fire. I can drink as many beers as I want. But then there's some days where I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Like I'm already bloated. I've had a Palmer and like 3-4 beers, and I'm just feeling like heavy. I've seen a video online just circulating around a guy teaching you about the carbonation of beer and how to pour a beer. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I've poured a beer before, and I've been called all kinds of names when you pour it and it froths up too much.
The big head on it.
Big head.
Yep.
But what that's doing is it's releasing all that carbonation, and he is saying that that's how you pour a beer, and then you go again, and then eventually the froth will come down, and that'll be a beautiful beer, and the carbonation's gone, versus when you tip it to the side and pour it.
You still see the bubbles coming up.
It keeps the froth down. Therefore, when you drink it, all the carbonation's in your stomach, and that's how you bloat.
So every time you've butchered a beer pour, you're saying you've done it the right way.
I've done it correctly. And the bloke that sprayed me and called me those kinds of names you can imagine.
Did you know you were doing those moments though?
You're always just trying to keep the froth down, right? But sometimes you just quickly pour it because you're in a rush and it just goes poof, over the top. So what I'm saying is now I understand why I'm bloated when I drink beers.
Right.
It must be the pour. So I'm going to be encouraging people when I go to Goldie this weekend, when I'm on the piss, smack it in the guts of it and let it froth over the top,
settle.
get the carbonation out and then settle and go again. Have you ever heard that before?
No, I haven't. And it actually makes a bit of sense, but I'll be devil's advocate for 1 second. Is it going to be flatter quicker? You know what I mean?
You're going to drink it in 10 minutes.
If you're drinking, you're probably right.
We're talking a schooner, pint, pot, whatever you drink.
I'll drive past the bottle on the way home and test this theory.
Yeah, well, we can have it. We're due for a beer. But do you find that – I found it really interesting. It was eye-catching because I was like, that might be my solution. Because there's nights where I'm pulling, man, I'm thinking I've got something wrong with my gut, but it's because it's the beer. It bloats me, but I can have the exact same beer the next time and it's fine.
I think when I'm so bloated, it's because, like, when do you ever, even when you're at home, you have a couple of glasses of water every hour or whatever it is. How often will you have, 4 beers in an hour and a half? So I'm thinking when I'm bloated, it's like, it's just because I'm not used to putting this much fluid into my body.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But test the theory out. Let me know, mate.
Well, it's interesting. So that really caught my eye. Anyway, anyone out there that wants to buy a pair of RIXXs, we've got the Melrose Large, the Soho Large, we've got the Soho Cherries. That's the normal size. If you've got a pinhead like me, head to rixxeyewear.com.au, check it out, and use our discount code ACES, and you'll get rewarded. It's time to talk footy, Pig. We've left a little bit off at the top, so we can talk a little bit deeper now. It's getting tight. This season is unbelievably tight. Let's go through our tips. By the way, Nat Fyfe had a shot last week, and it was dead straight, and I was texting you, mate, and it fell about 7 meters short. They all need to do goal kicking at Freo, but I couldn't believe it because it was so perfect on the camera, and it just dipped. I'm like, because he's up to 460, I reckon, for a sausage. I think you
know what he's going to be again. He's going to be my tip. I thought we'll just. We've talked a bit of smack this week, which we love on the pod. We'll just give the tips, a little bit of insight on why I won't. But Fyfe, I'm going to be tipping him again for another goal.
I love it.
All right, Friday night, the Bombers going to be wanting to bounce back against Adelaide. It's at Marvel. They'll play a little bit better there. It was wet in the weekend, and they just didn't do
$1.53 at the moment for the Dons. Now Adelaide have no ranking. I don't rate them without him, but you'd think the Dons would be all over that.
I'm going to tip the Bombers, and it's not my lock, but it's nearly probably one of the better bets for the weekend at $1.53, you would have thought.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Dons to win, and I'm happy with that.
Yep. Saturday, your old mob GWS versus the Suns. The Suns haven't won away from home. How crazy?
9-0 and 7-0, like at home and on the road, like 100% winning and losing streak. Like that would be great mail to know at the start of the year. We thought that would happen with Brisbane this year. That was the completely other side. But what the fuck?
Fact that they haven't won a game away.
How do you win
every game at home?
We would always talk about anywhere, anytime would be one of our. It was in our trademark, one of the 5 pillars of what we stood for. The fact they haven't won one on the road is bizarre, and they did lose to North Melbourne. So.
Not that there's anything wrong with North.
No, North are going really well besides last week. It's amazing. Have you seen anything like it before? To win 9 at home and to not win it on the road.
And beat some good teams at home. It hasn't been like they haven't been.
What changes, you reckon?
I don't know. Maybe it's a bit humid up there. They're better with the greasy ball. They train in that humidity. It is sweaty. I know other teams struggle up there. I remember I used to get sweaty hands, and sometimes you'd think, do I wear a glove or do I put extra wheel grip on?
It's not that bad. It's like perfect footy conditions.
I'm a sweater. I used to sweat.
Yeah, but like right now, middle of winter, it's like literally the most pristine conditions. For a Melbourne side to go up there, they would be licking their lips, 22 degrees. Like Port Adelaide they had a few injuries, so it's different.
Don't know. Maybe it's been closer to Cavalav in Goldie. I was not too sure. I'm going to tip the Giants purely off what we just spoke about. But this could be like Suns maybe they have grown the F up. Maybe they do bounce back well.
Giants 1-39. I reckon they'll have a crack. Giants won't. I don't think Giants will blow them out. I think they'll have a crack. But I really trust the Giants and their system.
St Kilda versus West Coast, Marvel Stadium. This St Kilda this has
got pooch all over it.
Yeah,
but it could have the opposite. It could have the grouse all over it because this game means nothing to anyone. New coach, right? They can't play finals. I'm talking about both teams. They are looking to ignite the fans and show some sort of game plan they're going to go with forward. I think West Coast are taking it on and playing it on at all costs. I think this could be a bit of a shootout.
I think there will be no more than 18,000 people at this game. So,
is that your tip?
Oh, that's my tip of the week. All right, move on. This is a good game.
I just think overs on that game. It's a round. I don't look at the. I just think that will be high scoring.
Right.
I reckon there's got to be an element of you can't play safe in that one. There's nothing to gain. They're 15th St Kilda and Eagles are 16th. There's nothing to gain for St Kilda to play defensive. I think they're going to take it on.
So go the overs.
Yeah.
This is like a little final in July. Hawks versus Collingwood.
At the G.
Whoever loses can't. I don't think they might be able to.
The Pies definitely can't with their run home. In my opinion,
I think if the Hawks win, which
come on, Pete, give a tip. Don't sit around here and make Brado edit out.
I'm going to tip the Hawks. Pies aren't going great, and I think they're just going to put it to them, put the nail in the coffin. Pies are done. They're not going to play finals. If they lose this week, I'm going to tip them. It's not a confident tip, but I'm going to tip the Hawks.
Yeah, it's a bit of a flip of the coin, but I'm just going to go, the Hawks continually to hurt me. I'm far out. I'm going to take, who'd the Pies play last week again?
Geelong. 20-point loss.
I'm going to take the Pies.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Pies. If Hawthorn beat the Pies this week, I'll tip the Hawks for the rest of the year with teams that are around them, not top four, because they have been. I just thought the way Geelong exposed them, I thought that might be the new form, but they went back to, what they did against Freo. So I'm going to give the Pies. They're above them on the ladder, so I'm going to give them one chance, and the Pies.
Geelong versus the Bulldogs. I'm going to tip Geelong. It's over in Geelong.
How good were the Dogs last week, man? Let's not skip over their form, though. Wow. Yeah. Without Norton, he'll probably come back in.
He's coming back, I believe.
Crazy win against the Blues. The Blues are what I think is the most complete side and list and in their prime. That's their window. I can't believe what they did last week. I think the Blues missed a lot of goals, but that is one of the biggest wins the Dogs have had this year, and that could give them a chance to play finals. So,
they're a game out, and percentage will get them in. So, depending on what the Giants and
I have a feeling the Dogs can get up here, but without, I need to see. If Treloar's in, we don't know. We don't know if Norton's in. You know what? I'm talking. The Cats will win this game.
Cats will win.
I think they can get them while Thingo's out.
Port will beat Richmond in Port.
Yeah, let's go on that. I've got a lock on that, by the way.
Oh, you got a lock?
Should we tell it now or later?
No, we'll talk it later.
Okay.
We'll quickly blitz through it. We'll get to our locks.
Yep.
Because I've gone past mine. Brisbane versus the Swans on Sunday at the Gabba.
This is game of the season, isn't it?
It's up there.
Let's not forget, Brisbane played in the grand final, lost by a kick. Sydney flying. Form's a bit inconsistent the last couple of weeks. Heaney back from suspension. He only got the one.
Yep.
So, Parker back in the side. Mills, a lot of players.
I'm going the Swans.
This midfield will be fun.
No Cameron, missing 3.
Hasn't been in the greatest form, though. Does it open up an opportunity for Lohman?
Loman's been playing all right anyway.
But does it open up more? Does he get a bigger role?
Yeah, well, maybe they throw a better defensive back on Lohman, do you know what I mean? Because Cameron, you send your best small defender to him.
He plays out of the square as well.
Yeah.
But what if Joey plays out of the square? They're not that tall, Sydney.
All right, well, I'm going the Swans anyway.
I'm going to take Brisbane at home, even though I think I should take Sydney. I have tipped Brisbane to be top 4 this year, and this is at the start of the year, so it would make me look good if this happens. So I'm going to stick with me guns here and back in this Brisbane midfield. By the way, Dunkley, our man, and Lachie Neale. I mean, what they've done the last month. It doesn't get spoken about much.
Lachie Neale's dominating.
Well, Dunks is your best tagger, because he doesn't tag. He kind of negates and wins the ball and just so he's a great mid. I'm really interested to see who he'd go to. Who would I take him to? I'd send him to Heaney because he's the same kind of build. I think Warner's really quick, and I'd want my wingers and my half forwards to handle that post stoppage. But I reckon inside Brute
Yeah.
Heaney v Dunkley.
I think Warner's a hard one to tag. Like, he's not like get the ball contested. He's a burst out. So, like, unless you're lightning quick, he's a hard bloke to tag. And I wouldn't say Dunkley's lightning quick. He's just a workhorse.
Yeah. But when you're getting fatigued, he's quick enough over that 3-4 metres to not let you out of that stoppage zone.
Yep.
Can't
All
wait
right,
to watch
what are we
that
doing here? So I'm going to tip Melbourne against Freo. We're going to bringing something in for each other next week. Or is it a little gift?
Okay, let's do that. Now, what's fair is the line because the Freo are favourites.
Yeah.
So do I take the line? Like, I don't really want to take the line. I want to take head-to-head, but head-to-head's unfair.
I'm tipping us to win.
Oh, you think so? You're going to go head-to-head?
I'm happy to go head-to-head with you.
Okay, what do you want to put on the line?
I don't know.
Would you wear a Freo kit next week?
No, it's not punishment. It's not my lock.
Okay, but it's not that bad to wear another jersey. Like you've worn a North Melbourne kit.
All right.
You'll wear a Freo full kit.
You wear a Melbourne kit.
Just so you know, my Freo, they're very tight. Like it's tight on me.
It's not going to fit me.
You'll have to stretch
the bra.
I might have a Freo jacket.
Yeah, you get a Freo jacket for me.
Okay, I can already see Freo winning. So that's why you got.
Big Melky kicking another couple would be nice. So he's in good form, that big fella. We might have Gorney back.
What time's that? That's on a Sunday, is it? 3:20? Oh, that's a beautiful time. We'll be a bit hungover watching that one. And then the Blues taking on North, the graveyard shift at Marvel, 4:40 on Sunday.
We're just tipping.
Melbourne, North Melbourne, just got spanked, but Blues just got beat. Both teams will be fiery. This could be hot early, and then Blues will break them open, you'd think.
Yeah, I'm tipping Kerno to kick. He hasn't kicked a big bag for a while. Like Mackay has kicked a few.
Mackay's the one that's in form, man.
Yeah,
I reckon he's the one that might kick 6.
Yeah, well.
But the defenders have been actually last week. Last week was more everyone kicked a goal. There wasn't like one bloke. I think 3 or 4 might have kicked 4. But Sydney really gave him an old-fashioned spanking last week, which was unlike North's last month. Righto, time for our locks, man.
It's good to go into these locks without this punishment over the top of my head last week. I was a bit sheepish. I was a bit scared. I don't know if you could tell the energy dropped when it was on you. I was about to eat a chip. So it's nice to go into this with a bit more confidence. Because without throwing a chip down my gullet that was going to burn me ring for a week. So
give me your locks first.
We've got
160 in the kitty, so we're going to have to start. We have to do something about this.
I think you do too. Yeah, we need
we'll do that next week. We'll have a discussion. We actually write in your comments what you should think me and Pig do.
Is it we pick 2?
Or do we pick a $3 leg? For 1 week to fast forward this.
We pick 2 $1.60s each.
Do we just back a horse or something?
No.
Live on the...
No good at that. I'm going to go Oscar Allen.
Yep.
Goal anytime, and Jake Stringer, who didn't kick a goal last week, anytime. That gets us $1.30 on the dot at this stage. So could drop after everyone back.
I'm giving us $1.40 something. Butters 25 against Richmond disposals, and Blues just to win. They're $1.15. Like that'll just boost that up. But,
Butters 25.
Butters 25. I don't think Richmond will tag. They don't have a tagger. That'll be head to head. Why would you tag? And if you're going to tag, do you tag Butters? Do you tag Rosie? I mean, they're that good and they need a win port. So I expect Butters to put in a big performance. They're sitting 9th on the ladder and they need percentage. So it's not like they're going to go easy and they're playing Richmond who ranked last in the competition. So I'm going to lean into that game. I think you'll have 35. So 25 Butters, get it done for me, brother. And then I've done the head to head Blues bet. But if the Blues lost to North Melbourne, I mean, we'll wrap this whole scenario up.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't know where the odds went for mine now, but that's Oscar Allen's gone now for some reason.
That's okay. We'll work that out.
We'll work that out later on. I like it, mate. I like it. I thought you were going to go against Melbourne for me with a bit of a buffer, and I was really hoping you would. So
head to head scares me. I don't think Carlton is scary, but I was thinking just take Freo or Essendon was my. But that's too early in the week. I don't want to ruin my whole weekend. I'd rather have my Friday, Saturday, and then sit back Sunday and watch it.
And lick the wounds if it doesn't get up. Yep. Nah, good. All right.
We have a big KPI Construction Stop That. Before we get to the KPI Construction Stop That, we have these hoodies online. And I must say they have come up a treat. So it's important. Everyone that listens to our podcast across the board, American Aces Sports Club, it's a sports club we've created for all of you Australian and American sports fans. This is the first time that we've released this type of hoodie. We did our first run last year. As you know, things get better. That was a bit of a trial and error. But this year we've sourced out a new factory. We've got brand new colours, designs, and these are super comfy. They're perfect for winter.
Very comfy.
If you head online right now to osmerican.aces.com.au, grab yourself a hoodie if you're a real American Aces fan, because we want to see them on the streets. This is only for limited time only. It's pre-order. Once they come in, that'll be it for a while. And we know who you are. We can't wait to see who gets behind this. There will be some other things that come through later in the year, and we'll see. You might even be entering yourself in a competition if you do buy one. We'll talk about that another time. That's a little heads up here from, I guess, the commish. But we just want to say thank you to everyone that has purchased them. Head online to osmerican.aces.com.au and grab a hoodie. Grab 2 if you want. And just remember one more thing. We're giving you a 7-day discount code. So use the code ACES for $20 off your pre-order right now. Can't wait to see what colours you like. Pig, black on you, blue. We have red and grey. What are your go-to colours?
Black and grey. I'm the my missus always gives me shit because all I wear is black tees, white tees, grey tees. So I'm loving this black, and I'll probably just pinch the grey one on the way out.
You can have whatever you want, mate. You can have whatever you want.
This is good. I like it, man. They are very comfy, and they fits me good too.
Yeah, they're a bit oversized. So we're wearing XL, and they're an oversized fit. So anyone that wants to buy, what are you, 6 foot?
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, same. So I'm 6'2". This is an XL.
You wearing XL as well?
XL,
yeah. Everything's XL for me these days. So then this is perfect fit. So if you're wearing the XL hoodies from Uniqlo or Zara or whatever, this is exactly the same kind of fits as them.
Well said. All right, mate. Well, it's time for our KPI Construction Stop That.
Big
and
one
we might need to just take a breath here because I know you are steaming. We've held back from talking about this. So we'll just put our helmets on here and we'll get stuck right into this because...
All
right, you just go, man. You go and fucking go.
Mate, my KPI Construction Stop That. And I'm fed up of talking about it now. It's getting ridiculous. They're ruining our game. These 3-week suspensions for tackles with no malice, no intent to hurt someone. Toby Bedford's one on the weekend is an absolute disgrace. The fact that that young kid, who's a ripping bloke, would never want to hurt a soul, has done a tackle, a chase down tackle, which we love in our game. There's nothing better than you're running. You see someone running and chasing someone down on the G and they run down and chase down tackle. And if that bloke happens to hit his head, they're going to stamp that out of the game now. Stop that. They're ruining the game. The MRO is an absolute joke at the moment. No one knows what they're doing. No one knows. It'd be so confusing. I'm glad I retired at the end of last year because right now I wasn't a very good tackler anyway, but I wouldn't know whether to tackle, let go. Charlie Cameron's one. Are you serious? He literally was holding onto him and just drove his legs. Duggan kind of tried to, is it Duggan?
Yep.
Duggan sat there and he didn't really help it either. He was trying to shrug him off and he fell backwards, hits his head. Like, what is a bloke supposed to do these days to avoid a suspension? Dangerfield had a similar one a few weeks ago. No week, hit the head. Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know if you've got an opinion on this, but I'm so confused. I think they need to have an overhaul of the whole MRO at the moment because if this is going forward, this is going to change our game forever. Like, do we just take tackling out? Is it a 2-bump rule like under 10s? I don't know, man, and I'm fed up of sitting there seeing players miss 3 weeks because of its tackles that is probably the best thing about our game is it's a 360 game and being able to tackle them. And if someone accidentally bumps their head, I understand if there's malice and you slam and sling and dump, but if someone's chased them down from behind and inertia takes someone forward and they accidentally hit their head, it should be play on every day of the week. So that was me. What about you?
Love it, mate. I'm going to stick with the theme. It's a massive stop that. Stop reporting blokes for accidents. Accidents. Charlie Cameron's technique is everything that these NRL experts taught us at the Giants. It was head in tight, and you can see he gets his head in, drive with the legs, and then place him to the ground. Unfortunately, their heads have, collided, and it's an accident. It's an accident. We have to stamp out accidents. You can't control accidents when the head hits the ground. Like, if it's malicious and it's the intent, you can clearly see there's no intent on those two that we're talking about. This whole week, has been crazy. And 3 weeks, stop with the inconsistency. The inconsistency of the weeks. No one's got any idea. I've stayed out of this argument all year. I've got no idea what's 1, 2, and 3. Rankin gets 4. He got 4?
I believe so, yes.
His intent was there.
Yeah.
It was as malicious as it could be. On TV, you could see he stopped. He knew what he was doing. Therefore, his decision-making was, I'm going to hurt him. He got him high. He knocked him out. Therefore, it's nasty. 4 weeks. Chase down tackle. Accident. 3? How is that? It's almost the same thing, but it's not. And then you're mentioning blokes early in the year, they get off. Oh. So if you're going to let blokes get off and then blokes get 3 and this is the end of the year, I'm getting frustrated because I actually don't understand the great game that I love and played, and whether it was junior to AFL games to in the paddock, I'm now confused and I feel like everyone else is confused. Therefore, what's going on? I mean, it's more like, what is going on? Can we just have a rule that's consistent? That's all I want is consistency. If you're going to stamp this stuff out, be consistent. Yep. They haven't been consistent. They've gone back, like you've said. Dangerfield's one's a perfect example. Hit his head, hurt his head, slammed into the ground, no weeks. Okay, perfect. Keep them all like that. Yeah. We all agree, keep them all like that. But now we've got blokes getting 3 weeks. I'm like, I'll be honest, I thought maybe 1 week if they're going to try stamp this stuff out. Yeah. So then the 3 is like, okay, what am I missing here? I've watched a lot of footy. I'm just getting confused. So stop that with the inconsistency because no one understands what's going on. And I think even CEOs of these footy clubs wouldn't understand. And they are the CEOs of they would be going, what? How the fuck is it 3 weeks?
For me, I think it's the intentional, reckless, and the gradings of it now, and they've just been held to that template for so long. I think there needs to be nearly a common sense rule in there as well. It's like, hold on, well, yeah, reckless, but look, he's just doing football action, which is a chase down tackle. Check where the momentum of the player he's tackling is going. What is he supposed to do? Disappear and let go of him? No, you get dropped if he runs off and kicks a goal, and you go to your coach, hey mate, I didn't want to drive him into the ground because I was scared I was going to get 3 weeks. That's probably what's going to go through players' minds now. It's just. As you said, it's inconsistent.
Imagine in a prelim final when you're like, you just get your body's flying. You're not thinking about how can I caress them to the ground.
And I think Dangerfield's one we spoke about, there was no week in that.
No week. We're saying no week.
He literally tried to hold him up, but Toby Bedford was chased down tackle and similar. He wasn't in his back. He was like, but as I said, the momentum, the inertia of Taranto's body, and it's on the player as well to stay strong. And it's sad because some blokes are more privy to concussions than others. Someone that's had a few more hits might get concussed, which means, it's on the tackler now. He's copped a few hits in the head. Now he's concussed. I'm going to get an extra couple of weeks. That's not fair.
The key word you said was fair. And it's not fair to miss 3 weeks at the end of the season or even during the season at the start for a tackling act that is an accident. It's an accident.
It's an accident. And then you look at, and not to, there's been players.
If you took a hanger and hit your head on the ground, right, it's like accident.
Yes.
It's like, now there's and we are all about concussion protocols and we want to stamp them out of the game. Therefore, everything happens. They go off the ground. They have the HIA, is that what it's called? And they do that process, tests, all that's, we love that.
Yep.
But an accident's going to happen. It's a contact sport. Look at State of Origin, Look at how hard it's a contact sport. So you can't take out players for 3 weeks.
No, someone high up needs to just sit there and have a real good look at this and understand that this is a part of our game, a very good part of our game is being able to tackle.
It's a hard part of the game. I was a horrific tackler. Yeah. I couldn't. It's that hard to tackle when it's some of these athletes, And when you get them, you need to hold on to them and you need to get them to the ground so you get a stoppage.
So with the dumping and the slings, I'm all for that. If you do that and the impact is concussion, okay, week, 2 weeks, depending on the severity and the malice behind it. But accidental, no one being malicious about the way they do it. play on, I think, going forward. So anyway,
that is the biggest
had a
KPI
bit of a rant there, but
that is our biggest KPI construction stop that of the year. But I think we all speak. I think we're all speaking the same language here. I mean, the amount of comments I read, I even saw your post going like, "This has got to stop." But the amount of comments in these posts about blokes getting 3 weeks, it just shows the public are all thinking like we are.
You don't want to watch and see. You don't want some of your best players out of the team for stuff like that. So it's hard to watch.
Well, it's just, as I said, it's frustrating. We don't like talking too much negative, but it's an important thing that needs to be stamped.
Well, they listened to us last time. Remember the goal umpires and
I haven't had a goal review since round 7.
Hey, they listened. They might listen again.
Well, Brado will clip this up and we'll see what reception we get. But mate, exciting week. We'll see if we can get another one. The hoodies are online. Everyone jump online and grab one. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And I'm looking forward to seeing the response from everyone on Spotify now that we're back up and running for your questions. Because we're going to go hard next week. But to our loyal listeners and viewers, get behind the Aces hoodies. Grab yourself one. I love the blue. And I actually don't mind the red. I'm more of a colourful operator. You're more of a black and grey setup. But yeah, Aces discount, $20. We'll see you next week. Cheers. This episode is proudly sponsored by KPI Construction Services. When it comes to construction sites, reliability and efficiency are key. That's where KPI Construction Services shines. With a single call, KPI provides a range of essential services, which includes labour hire, crane hire, and traffic control. KPI is a progressive business with modern plant and equipment across all of their operating states. Focusing on innovation and to avoid the business drifting is always front of mind. We are proud to be aligned with and have such a reputable company partnering with the show. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXies, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.